Hey y'all, what's good? Quick disclaimer before we start the podcast. I said that it's episode 17.5, which was the plan. Shit got really real, so it's actually episode 18, and if you listen on and or watch, you'll see why. Enjoy. Hey, what's good, y'all? This is C, Certified Brewhead, and y'all are listening to Beer and Other Shit, the podcast, and you're watching the video. So this is something different. We haven't done this before. This is episode 17.5. We're calling this an in-between-isode, just like our mentor, who doesn't know he's our mentor, Tim Ferriss, calls the interludes on his podcast for the little short one. So tonight is actually something hella cool. I got a text from my boy Nasca Domini earlier this week, and he was like, hey, there's a special event for BAOS on Thursday. I thought of you. Are you interested? I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up. So his friend contacted me and asked for my home address to send a courier over with the invite. And I was like, why didn't she just email me? So whatever, gave her the details. And like the next day, a bloke knocks at the door and he's like, see, I'd like to invite you to the BAOS event, private event on Thursday at Lord William Pub. And he was holding these two bad boys, as you can see right here. Which, in first and foremost, it's fucking amazing that a dude comes to my door to invite me to an event holding 2 bottles of cold, like ice cold Lug Trade. Phenomenal. And then I can just flip this around here. It's got the invite on the thing hanging around the bottle. So, first and foremost, BAOS. I'm already a huge fan, as y'all would have heard on the podcast. Been to the brewery many times. I fuck with them super, super heavy. And just the fact that there's a dude who came to invite us to an event holding 2 fucking bottles of BAOS was just like all class, all the way. It's actually it's a cask night for their Farm Table IPA. So it's a new beer. The gentleman who came to the door told me that they're gonna have 3 versions of it: the cask, the draft, and the bottle itself. So we'll be taking you guys to the venue tonight, to Lord William Pub. We're gonna be drinking it now. We're about to leave, but we couldn't go there and not start things off right. So I'm gonna crack this bottle of Lug Trade here and share it with my wonderful girlfriend Tiffany behind the camera. And as you can see, I'm using this BrewHeads wooden bottle opener, which has a nice little magnetic screw on there. Might as well promo this for Uncle Phil. And basically, when I pop the top, it sticks in there. So if you're into keeping the bottle tops for, people put them in those little boards or whatever, it keeps it completely, not fucked up. So if y'all haven't had Lug Trade, we did this in episode 4 of the podcast with the original Gentleman Boys. Yeah, see that shit? Yeah, get that, yeah. And that branded BAOS glass too. Oh yeah, so tonight's gonna be fantastic. So does it almost fit? Almost fits the whole thing. So very much looking forward to tonight. All the BAOS beers, honestly dude, I've never had a shit BAOS beer. So I'm super excited to see what this Farm Table IPA. So we're gonna actually make sure we'll discuss all 3 versions of them. I'm not sure how it's gonna work, so we'll see it when we get there. Cheers.
Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
So we just reached the Lord William Pub in Griffintown for the Farm Table IPA launch. Pretty chill right now, which is good. It's a little quiet, so we can do the podcast in peace. But we met Lindsay who invited us from the pub, and she's awesome. She's actually said that they're going to have on the first Thursday of every month, they're doing a cask night with BAOS. They're going to release a cask specifically here, which I'm super amped about because I fucks with BAOS heavy, and it's just nice to be able to get it in outside of Toronto, So what I have right here, if you can see this, is 3 different versions of the Farm Table IPA, as I was saying. So here we have the bottle, the keg, and the cask. We spoke with the gentleman. Actually, we were just saying I wish we had got it on tape, but we had a good chat with the guy from BAOS, and he was saying the cask is actually different to the barrel age program that we've mentioned on the podcast before. So the cask is just a metal thing, but they chuck it in and they added extra hops, Simcoe hops. So the rest of the bottle and the keg, they said were pretty much the same, and the cask we saw different. So I only had a small sip. So let's see how it is here. So the first one is the bottle. This one had a decent little head. Definitely a hoppy nose. It's 6% ABV. Okay, it's good. It's not super carbonated. Creamy pause. Sorry for the pause thing. Trying to take this in. A little bit of citrus. Nice and hoppy. Not overly so. It's not like a fucking hop bomb, palate crusher type of thing. Definitely simple drinking, but a lot of flavor for the ABV. 6% is pretty good. So you better crack a few of these without getting too fucked up. Yeah, okay, I like it. Right, so that's the bottle. The keg. I feel like I'm smelling it right now for the podcast, but yeah, I can't really there's much less of a nose on the keg. It's definitely different. Less creamy. I think now in comparison, the bottle was more musty. The hops are still there. It's definitely a lot more subtle on draft. Though it was draft, I got a draft from an esky from a cooler, so it wasn't like a fully proper thing. It didn't really have a large head, still a little bubbly. I feel like the subtle hop flavors are a little more present in the keg one, less overwhelming than the bottle one. Still very fucking good. Probably more sessionable taste-wise for those who aren't like hop fiends on the keg. And the cask, see this?
Sorry about that. Are you recording?
Yeah, jump in. We're doing a podcast. How you doing, man? Podcast and the video. What's your name?
Stu.
Great. Nice to meet you. So you work at BAOS?
Yeah, I'm the general manager for the BAOS operation in Quebec.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's good timing. It's actually good. I was just reviewing the 3 beers and the differences, so maybe you could actually almost speak to it. Cool. I spoke to these ones, so the bottle definitely seemed more hoppy, more of a bit of a, still relatively sessionable, but still fairly hoppy.
Yeah,
6%, correct?
Exactly.
Yep. I found the cake was definitely more subtle. Like the nuanced flavors were a bit more present, but I feel like it's not, you can't really judge it because it's from the cooler type of system. If it has a full, it's still CO2, right? Pressure.
Yeah.
But it's still, I feel like they don't do the same. Would you agree? I'm a bit of an amateur with that, so I don't know.
Absolutely, and as of I think tomorrow it will be opposite.
It will be permanent. Fantastic. Yeah.
Well, not permanently.
For the month, right? And then there's the one every first Thursday every month.
Exactly.
Very excited about that.
Yeah.
And the cask, so I was about to say, this one is a little more cloudy.
Yeah.
What would you?
I think it's because it's dry hop sweeter.
Yeah, dry hop with Simcoe, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure it's sweeter because they added more sugar to it.
Okay. It's definitely more subtle as well.
Yeah.
I feel like even though it's dry hop, it's not like a hot bomb. It's not smashing your face in. What makes the cloudiness? The dry hop? Without being filtered, I guess?
Yeah, because it's an unfiltered beer that's going into the cask. And then dry hop in the cask.
Okay, perfect. Let's remove this here so we can get the audio. Okay, sick. Do you have a preference between the three, or is there anything?
I love stuff on tap all the time.
Yep.
The reason why I wanted to bring the bottle in, because it is similar, but you're right. There's a difference between the bottle and the cask, and sometimes it gets oxidized a little more in the bottle. So it's brand new. Like we just brought it in yesterday. So if it was like a week later, you might see a bigger difference.
What would be the differences that you notice with the oxidization?
You kind of get the not that it ever goes really stale, especially because of the IBU on it.
Yeah, I think it's 6, right?
Yeah, it's around 60.
That's what the Untapped said. I didn't check that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it ranges around the 60 IBU mark. Yeah, I would say it's just more like the oxygen flavor to it. Like, not that it gets like a cardboard flavor.
Yeah, I always say, okay, that's a good question about that, because I always, when I describe them in my reviews, like, I've been doing this for a few years now, like, but I'm far from it. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just sort of...
You might know more than I do.
I doubt that very much. But let's be I always describe things as musty, which I never thought about calling it cardboard. That's a really good word, which is why I want to ask. Is it a thing? Like, when I say musty flavor, I feel like it's like in the finish.
There's certain terms that I've acquired in this past year, because I've only been working for BAOS for a year now. I used to run a bunch of pubs here in Montreal.
Oh, yeah?
And it's a friend of mine that I went to high school with that owns BAOS, and started BAOS with his dad.
Steve.
Yeah, exactly. And
studied
yeah. Okay. I thought you might
I know him. I don't know.
Okay.
I almost pulled that off, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Steve. Good boy.
Yeah, of course. And his last name is Beau, which is why it's called Beau's.
Yes, I did read that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan. That's why I was very happy to read that tonight. Yeah, phenomenal, man.
But the guy behind it is Matthew.
Yes, the one I spoke to before. Yep.
He's the one that you should really talk to about all the terms, the cardboard term, the caddy term. Like there's certain things that are caddy. And I don't know where that comes from. Okay. I mean, it tastes like caddy, and I think that's what it is.
Caddy, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, there's a term called caddy when something's like super hoppy and ammonia almost tasting. People call it caddy.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But the musty cardboard is like a genuine thing
that's because it's getting older. You know, so you'll taste that cardboard taste in the macro beers a lot, right? Because they don't really. They just get a sell their beer. They just sell it. Some beers will last for a year, whereas we want to get through our beer within 3 months. And if something's over 3 months old, we'll pull it off the shelf.
Really? Yeah.
Place it, yeah.
Even LCBOs and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah. We wanted to go that way. We're trying to like lengthen it, but because it's an organic brew, we don't put a lot of. Well, we don't use syrup at all.
Right.
So a lot of people use syrup.
What syrup?
A lot of people use corn syrup instead of an actual roasting malt.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and that's the stuff that makes it like a preserved, essentially.
Preserved, and that's where a lot of the headache the next day comes from, because you have way too much sugar going into your beer.
What are you drinking now?
This is right from the keg.
The keg.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink a big glass.
What's your favorite? I'm definitely gonna go big glass. The keg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
I like a little less carbonation in my beer sometimes, especially on an IPA. With the bottle, I found it a little more carbonated.
Very much so.
Yeah. And with the cask, it's less carbonated. It's like the Three Bears.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's why I wanted to do them all together.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the cask. I've never really been
Yeah, I'm enjoying Mama Bear right now.
Yeah, bottle. Yeah. Papa Bear.
I call it Mama Bear.
That's of course, Mama Papa Bear.
Yeah,
baby. Yeah, the cask is very interesting. It's just so funny where it's the same beer, and it's actually really interesting to try all three side by side.
Yeah, well, that's what we wanted to do tonight.
Right.
We do sell the lug tread upstairs.
Right.
In bottles.
In bottles.
And we have one called the Grisette.
Yes, we had that recently. That's a what was that? Saison?
It's Belgian ale. Yeah. Not really a saison. Well, I guess it's
sort of. It sounds like yes. Maybe they have Belgian yeast or something in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I would
similar
it's very similar, and it's low in alcohol too. So it's like 4.7.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very sexual. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we kind of moved away from. We used to have these things called seasonals.
Yes.
Which every brewery has, but we went to we call them farm tables now.
So that's okay. So that's what that is. I'm glad you brought that up. So the farm table is just Beau's word.
It's our seasonal, and instead of calling it a funky name, this beer used to be called Beaver River last year.
So it's a different. Is it the same recipe?
We tweaked it a little bit, but we're not doing Beaver River this year. We're just calling it IPA.
Right. Farm Table IPA.
Farm Table IPA. Farm Table Grisette. Grisette is another form of brewing. We have another one coming out called Patter's Beer, which means father's beer. Right. And that's another Belgian ale that we're going to release for the summer.
Fantastic.
Ordered, but there's more chicken.
Bravo. Thanks, love. Hooking it up.
These are the jerk chicken wings.
Are they?
They're just about to
Oh, they just brought them around? Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We wanted to do, wanted to pair something with an IPA. We were thinking of a jerk. And Joe, the manager, owner here, he's like, well, we're actually about to release these spicy wings. Would they go well with the IPA? I was like, anything spicy in an IPA is going to go really well.
Hell yeah, balance it out nice.
So he's like, well, that's perfect because now they're going to release their jerk chicken wings.
Right. That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm super excited. Do you know what's, I don't know if that's a spoiler for next month, what the next, the beer for next, the first Thursday of May is?
We don't.
You don't know? Oh, you're going to work it out this month?
Yeah, because we have one guy that actually does casks.
Right.
And about 2 weeks before, I'm going to ask, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm going to have this. I was like, okay, I'll take it. Yeah.
Is that, so it's encouraged as well. I feel like you guys are very, like the biggest craft beer now in Canada after Mill Street got bought out?
I would say not the biggest craft brewery, the biggest organic craft brewery.
Organic craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though
Some
you're
out there that are, well, I mean,
what else is similar?
Steam Whistle.
Steam Whistle organic. Okay.
No, not organic, but Steam Whistle is still considered a craft brewery because they produce a lot more than we do.
Right, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, granted, I guess my point was your size. That doesn't always lend itself to creativity and like doing cool shit all the time. but you guys always have got crazy stuff that gets released in the LCBOs. Like, don't always like go to the brewery. It's pretty much the same stuff I can get anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Where does that come from? That's crazy.
It comes from our sales of lug tread, to be honest.
Yeah, because that covers 80% of the business. I don't know well.
Because we sell a lot of lug tread, and it's fantastic.
We just had one on the way here.
Any kind of profit that we make from it, we throw it back into brewing and having fun with brewing.
Fantastic.
We did February. I don't know if you were around for February.
I didn't get up there. I wanted to get up. I didn't have to get out of the car, so it was to get up there as a...
Where are you from? Where do you live?
We live in Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we live here. We live in Montreal. We go to Toronto a lot. That's beautiful. I'm very happy that you guys are doing this tonight. So the jerk chicken are the other things to pair it with.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, because anything spicy in an IPA is really going to go well.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to give it a crack.
I would love for Matt to come over and talk to you as well.
Yeah, if he's interested, feel free. Grab
He is. I just came over to Photobomb.
No, Photobomb was also perfect. we can just keep this rolling and just bring him in.
Can I head him over
later? Grab him, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Thank you for chatting. Hi, I'm Craig.
Hi, Matthew.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Yeah, good to meet you too. Sorry.
No, you're right. Jump in.
Nice.
It's a little exciting there. Yeah, man. So we were just talking with Stu. He came over at the perfect time. We were just reviewing it. I have a podcast with my friend, and we do video and the audio side of it. I was just reviewing this, and he came over right in the perfect time. So he said that you are the man to probably break it down in more detail. So we were saying that. So we got the bottle keg cask.
Yeah.
The differences are, I was just telling you what I found the differences were. So it seemed like they're all seemed fairly sessionable. Hops definitely more overwhelming in the bottle, definitely more dull in the cask, and a little bit more, in the keg, a little more of the, he mentioned he called it cardboard. I always call it musty, so we were talking about that as a flavor, and that's why he said you would know more about what does that. And then the cask is definitely unfiltered, so it's cloudier, still subtler again. Even though it's been dry hop, it seemed to be a little more subtler, I guess, overall. Okay. So I don't know if you want to speak to perhaps the differences between the two and what's sort of on a deeper term.
Yeah, so really the bottle version and the draft version should be quite close to one another. Okay. One thing that I do notice is that when you have an unfiltered beer like the Farm Table IPA, if you get it into the bottle, there's like yet another opportunity for yeast to settle out. Okay. So it ends up being a little bit brighter as a result.
Right.
And then in the keg version, you might, because there's more yeast in suspension, there might be a slightly more yeast bite as a result.
Would you say, sorry to cut you off there, that the fact that it's in like the cooler version and it's not the traditional draft lines, does that make a difference to the way that this particular
Not really. I don't. Yeah, it shouldn't really
make a difference. Okay.
Ultimately, it should be very much the same beer as the one in the bottle. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then, the cask conditioned iteration is by far the standout there. Right. And that's due to adding more beer in early stages of fermentation. Okay. To provide conditioning. Right. I personally feel that this might have been less active than other instances, just based on ambient temperatures at the brewery. Okay. So I don't know that it took on the full level of carbonation that we might ultimately desire. Okay. Or achieve in the future. Right. But the dry hopping to me came through pretty significantly. Okay. We're using Simcoe for that. Okay. So I picked up on some more resinous kind of piney aromas that added an additional overlay of complexity on the beer.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's more nuanced. Is there any word I can think of?
Yeah.
Like
described it. So, with regard to that musty, which I'm getting in the finish, almost like a dry finish, I guess. I like that Stu described it as cardboard. Where does that come from? Take a sip.
I wish I should really get the 3 from me too.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
Come back?
Yeah, I'll come right back.
No worries.
Okay.
Take your time. Thanks, man. Let's talk through this bad boy.
Sure.
So the bottle first?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Lots of clarity in it. I feel like it had a decent head as well when this one was poured. What are we tasting here?
The aroma and the flavor to me are predominantly citrus at first.
Okay.
Kind of a mix of bitter orange and grapefruit.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely get that. From what's the main hop in? Is it Simcoe as well, or is it?
There's a variety of hops. Simcoe isn't the main one. We're using Cascade in there as well. Some Centennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classics.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. And the keg. I feel like it's got a subtler nose, eh? Would you agree, or I feel like?
Yeah.
I feel like in comparison, this one hit me.
Yeah, it's a little more. Yeah, it's a little more closed.
More like right. Potentially, I don't know, creamy is the right word. Like a little bit in the body there.
It might be slightly lower on carbonation than the ball.
Right, so that creates the sort of creamy. Once again, I'm not sure.
Well, it's a lack of the prickly kind of carbonic bite.
Right.
In a relative sense.
Yeah, in comparison. Yeah, overall, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's definitely less carbonation.
I find that for the most part, the differences are subtle.
Very subtle. Yeah, nothing huge. Then we've got the cast, so it's definitely cloudier.
Yeah.
Not a ton of carbonation.
The mouth feels certainly quite different.
Yes.
Smoother, creamier.
It's like a touch sweeter.
Yeah.
Potentially because there's extra sugars.
Yeah, I think there's residual sugar from primings that might not have been totally fermented out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it a lot. It definitely works well. As she was just saying, it's actually the Beaver River. I mean, there have been some, kind of slight modifications to the recipe. It's not exactly, and to be frank, every year we've done tweaks. Right. We're trying to actually improve on, hop aroma, and, getting the balance right. I really appreciate beers that, of this nature, IPAs that, although bitterness plays a role, it shouldn't be at the detriment of complexity of flavor. So I don't want it to be one trick pony. It needs to, have some depth. So what we're concentrating more on in recent years is bringing out the aroma and the flavor, and maybe downplaying or moderating straightforward hop bitterness a little bit. Is it just because it's played out of it? It's too common, that palate record?
Yeah, so I find it, it's it can become more one-dimensional than you ever want your beer to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that why BAOS hasn't particularly pursued that type of thing in the past?
Yeah, well, I just, I'm a big advocate of balance in beer.
Right.
Even in an IPA, hops should be dominant, but not to the extent that you're actually going to lose out on some of the subtleties that can be offered through, other players in the mix.
Right.
smart. No, it's good. I think that's that ethos is carried through all the beers I've had from those. I've tried as many as I possibly can over the years, and definitely noticed you guys have really focused. Like even like we were saying before, when I grabbed the beers, like the Groot and stuff like that. Like it's weird as hell. It's like, but no one else makes those beers, and it's surprising. Like it's surprisingly tasty, and it's some stuff that you wouldn't particularly normally go for. But just because it's Beau's, I don't give a shit what it is. I'm gonna if it's got that Beau's made, I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah.
Never had a bad beer from you guys, but I feel like even if it's like not my preference, it's still extremely well made.
Right.
I feel like that you guys have, I guess, not gone towards that, typical West Coast USA, like pop bomb type of thing, which I do like just because it's not super common here. It's fun because it's like how much can they wreck them out, but you guys never played into that.
Yeah, and I think that the best brewers everywhere, like West Coast included, I think are, way more refined in terms of how they nuance their beers. It's not like sometimes, in the past, I think, historically, I think that some craft brewers were going after bragging rights about having, the most bitterness, highest IBUs in a beer. Right? Those days, if they're not already over, are going to be. No one wants like a sledgehammer kind of experience with a beer, right? Like, I don't think. Just like I think a good beer is like a good story. It has a beginning, middle, and end, right? And there's elements that go throughout that story, and it's not like it shouldn't read like a headline. There's a lot of hops in here, and that's it.
It's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay, interesting. So on that note, if I may ask what your general role at BAOS is?
I'm the Brewmaster.
You're the Brewmaster?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, perfect. So one thing I think is one of the coolest things you guys did is the B-side. Bringing in Gigantic and Kissmeyer. Is that the brewery? Kissmeyer, or was that the name of the beer?
It's Kissmeyer Nordic Pale Ale.
What was the brewery again?
He doesn't actually have his own brewery.
Oh, it was just
he's a gypsy brewery or brewer.
Right. Are you able to speak to? Do you have any more collaborations coming up in the future? In that thing you can speak about?
We don't have anything firmed up yet, but we are definitely expanding on that program going forward. Yeah.
Very cool. My friend in the States just went to Gigantic in Portland. I brought him here from Phoenix, Arizona. He came up. He owns a craft beer merchandise company. So he came up and we did like a song and a video and stuff about it. And so we took him to Beau's last trip. He came last year and he loved it. So we bought the Gigantic and we took some back. And he was super, super amped about it. So the Formidable one. And he went up there last week and he said it was phenomenal. I just thought it was so cool to get, like, I don't know if it was like a cheeky way of getting the distribution for the US guys. Like, hey, like I can't, it's a pain in the ass to get distributed in Canada. Hey, we've already got it, just collab with us. We put the B-side through us, and then I'm sure there's like a reciprocal agreement or something. I just thought that whole concept was genius. It's a great way for you to expand your brand, for them to expand their brand, and that whole collaborative vibe of that craft beer industry, that exemplified that for me. I think it's phenomenal. It's very, very cool, and you don't see that in the industry.
It's really cool. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of benefit through collabs in the sense that it's an opportunity to learn from one another, and a good way to network, cement relationships, open new doors. It's an entirely win-win-win kind of situation, especially when it kind of distills down to offering a product. It's never a product. It's a beer.
Yes,
A new beer that the consumer wouldn't otherwise have access to. With that, the stylistic impressions of brewers who don't actually necessarily live in their home market. Right. Yeah.
Very cool. And I guess the bureaucratic side of it kind of circumvents that. Getting to LCBOs is a pain in the ass. I'm sure you guys dealt with it years ago, but looked into that and get into the beer store and all these little elements and being a foreign. I just spoke to someone before about it, and it was the foreign brewery, when I say foreign, or whatever, American breweries, or even out of province breweries, getting into various Canadian markets is so expensive, so time consuming, and so bureaucratic that it's just like, I'm not going to bother. Whereas this was a cool way to bring something for, like, as just a fan of craft beer, to get something from the West Coast, which is super tough to get. Particularly in Quebec, it's literally impossible. In Ontario, when we go, they got a bit more, so I think they have like Adidas now, and Stone and stuff finally. But aside from that, you can't really get it. So to have something super random from Portland is very cool. And you guys gave that a channel to get into the hands of Ontario craft brew fans. And that's super dope.
It's been a really big boon to us, and just a really great concept that's got some traction, and we're just really happy to be part of that movement.
Very cool. Can you also, if it's not asking too much, so you are the man in charge of the monthly beers here, that you do the cask every month? Is that your... No, that's another word? Okay.
No, I mean, we're at a scale now where, some of these responsibilities need to be spread out. Delegated.
Okay, so then, better question. Of all the beers you brewed and tried for Beau's, what's your proudest? What beer are you proudest of?
I'll always kind of harken back to Love Tread.
So that was you?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
Congrats,
I've been there since
the beginning. That's amazing.
Yeah, since the beginning, and that to me is an ongoing labor of love. I love all our children, but some have a longer history, and I think that when I look at it kind of more comprehensively, to this day, 75% of our sales is Love Tread, so that's where a lot of my focus needs to remain.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you tweak the recipe, or is it relatively?
Yeah. We don't really stop at that. We want to make it the best beer as it possibly can be. Right. So trialing new techniques, new ingredients. That's an ongoing process, but we haven't done any kind of. There's never been anything that could possibly be considered an overhaul to that beer. Okay. Minor tweaks here and there.
That's it. Okay. Do you have anything that you're excited about that's coming up? Anything particular that you can speak to without ruining anything? As far as whether it's like
we have a few beers that we're getting ready for our 10th anniversary, which is happening this summer.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we need to keep those details hidden for now. But I think we have some nice surprises in hand. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the deal with that? Are you going to have like an event similar to the Oktoberfest or something?
Well, I don't think it's going to be on that scale exactly, but we're definitely going to have a celebration.
Something?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, man. I'm really impressed. I'm very glad that you were here to speak to. I didn't realize you were the Brewmaster, so...
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man, this is great. It's very cool. Beau's has definitely been a favorite. I've been doing the beer podcast stuff, or the reviews for about 5 years now, so far from just accidentally got into it, so I just kept coming back to Beau as far as the branding's always dope. Like even just all of these things here, the design are always on point. Every time I've been to the brewery, Nick always gives us the tours.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
That was my birthday last year when we went. He gave me just looked after us and really treated us well. And it's those small things. Like we do hip hop music, so it's a very competitive field, and people aren't always the friendliest. And so craft beer for us has been a very cool kind of side project that turned into something, to the point where we're bothering with video and doing all this stuff.
Nice.
And it's been very cool. And wherever we go, different cities, and we've been to Detroit and upstate New York, not too crazy, but every time you go somewhere and they see us doing all these reviews, like, oh, what are you guys doing? And oh shit, you need to try this, or you need to go here, here, and here. And it's just it's a very cool industry, and everyone we've always met have always been dope. And specifically, I don't know, you guys are just really cool. When we heard about tonight, it was like fantastic. Let's do this. And even I don't know if that was you guys or the pub, but they sent a guy to our door.
Okay.
2 bottles of Love Tread.
Nice.
With the invites punking around the net.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. Come on Thursday. That is class here.
Wicked.
Exactly what I expected of Beau's, and nothing less. And then now you guys are here first Thursday of every month. So I'm extremely impressed, and I appreciate your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Good gentlemen.
Cheers.
Yeah, we brew heads, so pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
Alrighty. So today's been pretty fucking crazy. Not only did we get to chat with Stu and Matt from Beau's, but we have my homeboy Pierre. Could you introduce yourself, sir?
Sure.
And tell the people what the fuck it is.
What the fuck I am? So, I'm pretty much French, as you can...
So it's Pierre. What's your full name?
Pierre Roucou.
And who do you work for?
I work for Gutenberg.
Glutenberg.
So we make gluten-free beer here in
Phenomenal beer.
Montreal.
Yes, sir.
First time I saw Glutenberg in a beer festival, I was like, not interested. Like, I love beer, and like gluten-free beer was not really interesting to me. But one day in a festival, I tried Glutenberg. I was, oh shit, what the fuck is that? It's great. It's like, oh, it's Glutenberg. Really? Like, alright. So I started to try some of the products, and yeah, it's
fantastic.
So I started to work for them like as a pure coincidence. So we're looking for someone at production, so pretty much canning, bottling, doing some those shitty work in a brewery, pretty much.
But it got you in the door.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I wanted when I got my visa here in Canada. So I wanted to work in the beer industry. Like it's an amazing industry, like anywhere around the world.
Right.
But here in Quebec, it's been growing so much.
Yeah.
And like everyone knows each other. So if you go to some festivals in Quebec, you see all the brewers from different breweries. They should be competitors, but there's like some kind of love.
Yeah, it's weird, eh?
All of them.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, in a very good way. Maybe we should know more about this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I started to work for them, and it's amazing how in Quebec, in Canada, you can grow in a company.
Right. Move up faster than...
Yeah.
And you're from France, right?
I'm from France. So I was not brewing, so I'm really interested into homebrewing. I have some friends who are like homebrewers, like brewing at their place, and they make like amazing beers that like surprisingly better than some breweries are doing sometimes.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they have like homebrewing competition here in Quebec, and it's pretty big.
Fantastic.
And so yeah, like I started to work there, and it's gonna be my life now.
What do you do now?
I'm still at the production, but I just got offered a new post at the filtration of the beer.
Cool.
So because at Gutenberg we filtrate the beer, so not all breweries do that, but we do. So pretty much in charge of the filtration and gasification of the beer.
Fantastic.
So make sure it's ready for the bottling and canning.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
So to quickly go back, we connected on Instagram because you lived in my city, in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And happened to be here tonight, which I'm really glad you said hey, because that's amazing. So you were started to tell me, and I cut you off before because I wanted to record it. You went to Melbourne, and that you went into beer.
Well,
then.
When I was living in France, I was more into wine.
Right, of course.
Because wine is...
It's like a good French.
France is... I'm not going to say the best wine in the world. Like, Italians are going to go crazy. We have some good wine in France.
You do,
and,
certainly do.
For a pretty reasonable price. So I was drinking wine. And in France, we don't have good beer. We do, it's getting there. Like it's getting there. Like for the last few years, it's getting a bit better, but it's not like a beer country. Like compared to Belgium, compared to like England or like Scotland, Germany or whatever. So we are pretty late in the beer industry. But so when I moved in Australia, when I went to Melbourne, I went in a shop and I wanted a liquor store, and I wanted to buy some wine, and I was like, oh shit, it's
look at this beer.
It's a bit expensive, so to have some good wine. So I checked the beer and I saw like, oh, they have more beers than Foster's. Like, oh,
Foster's fucked the strain everywhere in the world.
It's really bad, but I told all my friends, like, believe in Australia, like they are making amazing beer. So I tried some beers like Little Creatures, White Rabbit.
Yes.
Like
mainstreamy, but still craft.
It's what I knew. Like it's what I knew from the liquor store I was going.
No, that's a really good start though. Like because it wasn't too intense. Like they're better than Foster's, of course, but they're not like.
No, because I tried the VB and what's Carlton
Draft. Yeah. Do you have Melbourne Bitter? It's like a
maybe my brain starts trying to forget. Maybe I have tried.
You need to forget, bro. I want to apologize on behalf of my country for those beers.
Is that bad?
It's that fucking bad. Like my parents brought some over for me a couple of years ago so we could try them again, and it was as bad as I remembered.
Have you tried Cronenbourg?
Kronenberg, yeah, it's not that bad.
As white one is okay. Like,
Oh, Kronenberg Blanc? I love that shit. Kronenberg
White?
Blanc is good. Yeah, the Blanc one.
yeah.
That
I
one
was surprised when I tried it.
super surprised. Kind of like Hoegaarden, like where, or maybe Lowenbrau even, where it's like a nice mainstream wheat beer. So I'm not mad at that, but like you can't compare Kronenberg Foster's and VB, that level of shittiness to Kronenberg. Kronenberg is leagues above
Yeah,
that.
it's shittiness, but in Europe.
Europe
so
shittiness is
in
so
Europe
much better than
is.
shitty Australian. Even shitty Canadian beer is as bad as Australian shitty beer. Like
I should. Like,
most Canadian will have blue.
I want to try again because
Try it again, but now you know more about beer. You'll like. I would like to. When we go back, I'm going to try all that stuff again. You could probably still. You can't get it here, but in Toronto you can get VB, I think.
Can you?
And definitely Foster's.
I have to go to Toronto.
Yeah, in the LCBO they got way more the stuff they don't have here. Like, because here is just Quebec, and now they've got those and a few Americans, but in Toronto they have everything much wider range.
But, like,
anyway, I digress.
In France, we're starting to it's funny because in a bar in a bar on Beaubien, I talked to you about
Hildegard.
they had like a bottle beer. It was a collaboration with a brewery in Texas, Jester King, and a French one, Thierry. And I didn't know this brewery in France, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna check it out. And it is a brewery like maybe 15 kilometers from my hometown, like in the north of France. That was already existing when I was living there, but I never heard of it, and I know it's getting like collaboration with like US breweries, and it was like, oh shit,
Super random. I love the collaborative part of craft beer. So I mean, I guess when you discovered craft beer in Australia, and you took that love when you moved to
I started to
Montreal.
love it more. I drink and try and wanted to try more and more. And every time, we were doing parties in working hostel, everyone was drinking like cheap wine, like Grunt. And I wanted to. I was like, this guy buying his own beers and like hiding them in the fridge so no one would
Don't
drink
take
them
that.
because it's like it's my beers.
My shit.
Don't
I'm not
fucking
sharing
drink
it.
my beer. And so I started like this pretty much, and so I loved it. When I arrived in Montreal, I got like mind blown. Like I went to like a specialized like store. Like, I think the first one I went to was Peluso.
That's our shit. We shot a music video.
I was living like just next to on Crémazie, next to Veux-tu une bière, and it's on Rue de Liège. It's very very small store, but like they have like a very good choice. And I saw all the choice. I was like, shit.
It's crazy, huh?
How the fuck am I gonna be able to try all of that? And I wanted to try all of it. Like I wanted to try all of it, and it's still my what
Goal.
makes me go. Like I want to try everything I can,
Fantastic.
which is
It's the best part about craft beer, right? Particularly in Quebec, like there's so much variety. When you go to somewhere like Peluso, it's overwhelming. I took my friend Phil, who runs a company called BrewHeads in the States. It's like a craft beer merch company. We shot a video. We did a song called BrewHeads, and we shot a video in a bunch of places here. So I took him to Peluso, and I was thinking, he's American. He's from Baltimore, lives in Phoenix. Fucking like he knows, like he doesn't have to worry about craft beer. It's gonna be bullshit to him. He fucking like lost his shit in Peluso, and that to me was like a very cool cosign for Quebec craft beer.
because you have like
And be proud.
any kind of beer. Like it's not like if you go to Belgium, you're gonna have like Belgium beers. If you go to Germany, you're gonna have German beers. If you go to the US, you're gonna have like
Fairly regional something.
but like West Coast IPA, East Coast IPA. If you go to Quebec, you're gonna have like East Coast IPA, West Coast IPA, like Belgian beer, German beer,
Stouts,
all
porters, and saisons.
all the kind of beer, even type of beer you never heard before, like they don't even exist.
Yeah.
They exist just for one beer, and you're gonna find it in Quebec, and that's what I find is pretty amazing. Like it's frustrating to be in Quebec sometimes because we have so many beers, but we can't get more. Like we can't get beers from the US.
Yeah. That's
We
my
can't
least
get
favorite
beer
part.
from Ontario, except if you go to Ontario.
Well, now we can get both.
Yeah,
That's it, though.
that's the first step.
I have seen Mill Street in a couple of bars,
Yeah.
and now Mill Street got bought out by Labatt, so they should be in more places.
Okay.
In my honest opinion, and not being biased because they're at a Beau's event, but Beau's are a better brewery than Mill Street for sure. Like they're more crafty. Mill Street makes more mainstream beers and stuff.
I still have to I haven't been, but
You haven't? Oh, you should check it out. Mill Street's great. It's totally dope. It's just, I don't know, like, I've never had a shit BAOS beer. Even if it's not my favorite, it's not shit. It's well made all the time. And now meeting these guys, like, I get it. Mill Street has a more of an accessible, that's why they got bought out for so much. It's more accessible. It's something that, like, you know, like Granville Island, I don't know if you've had their beer. It's, actually, no, I shouldn't compare it to that, because Granville Island's a little more watered down and mainstream than Mill Street. But
still,
it's more mainstream. Not as bad as a macro, but it's like more accessible, in my opinion, because Beau only has a couple of accessible beers, whereas Mill Street's, even their crazy beers aren't that crazy. Either way.
I went to a blind taste of like beer. Like one guy from Quebec wanted to make like a blind taste with like people like in the beer industry. So we had the brewer of like Benelux.
What's his name?
This one was Tico, but he's a brewer on the Wellington.
Oh, not
the Sherbrooke.
We shot the video there, and he was like, "Man, cool, okay." I love that.
And he wanted to try like some kind of like a test, like blind test of like micro against micro breweries. So, and he was like thinking people can't make the difference between micro breweries, so like Molson or like Labatt or whatever, and
but like
micro,
similar styles in macro versus micro.
Like trying like a IPA from Montreal and trying an IPA from Dunham.
Right.
And he thought like people wouldn't be able to make the difference,
but they could.
And they could. Like at the end of the result was overwhelming for microbrews. Everyone loved the microbrews more.
Even non-traditional beer drinkers, like
we had one we had one girl who did not really drink beers, and even if she didn't like all of them, she like I don't like it, but this one is still better to me than.
That's micro brewing, like in a nutshell.
It's funny to make people like people are saying they love beer, and you make them come in Quebec. They say, if you love beer, I'm gonna make you try some amazing beers. And so every time they go to a bar, I'm gonna have the pale ale. Because I still
like Saint Amboise pale ale, where it's like
try something else, and it's like trying. Oh fuck,
this is good. That's the best. Even stuff like Saint Amboise actually is a really good example of that, because their pale ale I don't really like, but their cream ale I love it. If I'm at a bar, like,
they're making good beers.
They fucking are, man. Like we did a video there too. We did a lot of places, and they were super cool to us, which is why I really like them. But their beers are accessible. Yet their IPA is great. If we go down to, we have a depanneur in our building, so Tiff, which is always, it's really funny. She gets this now. She goes and buys the double IPA, like in the 6-pack, keep it in the fridge if we're not doing the beers for the vlog. All of this shit, the apricot wheat's accessible, super accessible. That was the first fruit beer.
The maple one is not bad.
The maple one's great. The cream ale is my favorite on tap because it's nitro, and it was like if I'm ever at a shitty pub where they only macros, then and they usually would have Saint Amboise, they'd always have the cream ale because it's a great keg beer.
It's still better than Coors or Budweiser. Like compared to that, it's amazing.
Don't even put them in the same sense.
No,
it's like, excuse me, like a really big fan of Saint Amboise. Quebec beer now, you meant like as a whole. Like it's phenomenal. Like there's so many fantastic breweries like Dieu du Ciel, True Diable, fucking I guess they're two of my main favorites. I can't even think. The Castor, Dunham is a one, or the Castors. I've never been to the brewery. Apparently it's
the Castor. It's so small. Like I was surprised. It's really small. Like I was expecting.
Sorry, are you expecting a larger place?
Yeah, I was expecting like because you can see them like. It's too bad they don't participate in a lot of festivals.
Yeah.
You don't see them like a lot, but like if you're like a beer geek in Quebec, you're gonna know like Le Castor. Even for the Yakima, it's supposed to be one of the best IPAs in Quebec.
One of the best IPAs I've ever had, period.
And it's true, it is.
It's phenomenal.
But yeah, like I was expecting something like bigger, like this very, very tiny brew house, and you're like, oh.
Is it worth a trip? Say if we're going to Ottawa and we have a car anyway, is it worth going?
If you're driving by, yeah, sure.
Okay. But you wouldn't go out if you're waiting.
They have a fridge, they have like some... All the beers they have like pretty much is going to be like available anywhere else. Right. But sometimes they have like releases that you can buy only at the brewery.
That's
like the barley wine was only available at the brewery, I think.
I love barley wines. I'd buy it if I went there, but I'm not loving it. They have a few beers. I've tried almost everything.
Try to make it old, like the barley wine.
Yeah,
like,
or age it.
Keep it. Yeah.
I have a fridge for aging. Yeah, okay. So I'll do that.
Could work. Yeah.
I love everything I've ever had from La Castle. Their session IPA, their oatmeal.
The bread bitter is a.
Which one?
The bread bitter.
The Brett one, yes. The Kiwi, the Nelson Sorvin Saison, I think it is.
Yeah.
Everything I've had from them
Saison
has just been-
Farmhouse.
Maybe that's one. The Saison Farmhouse, but then there's a Kiwi one. It was just a New Zealand hop. Isn't the New Zealand hop Nelson Sorvin? Yeah.
Maybe.
Either way, like everything I've had from them is phenomenal, and every time anybody comes from out of town,
The Catherine is like a stout.
I don't know if I've had that.
Oh, it's.
Maybe I'm fucking up.
I have two
fucking
bottles
up,
at
bro.
my place. Like, if you want to try one.
Okay. If I can't find it,
I love stouts, like, but it's when I tried this one, I was like, oh fuck. It's like when I meet people like beer geeks, it's like Gutenberg. Oh yeah, but I'm more interested, and I get it.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw Glutenberg, I was not.
that interested.
Yeah,
right?
because
it is gluten free. It
for me-
sounds boring.
Yeah, it sounds boring, but it's not.
I feel like gluten. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you work for them. I'm not just saying this because you work for them. Of all the gluten-free beers I've had, by far Glutenberg is the shit. And sometimes, I swear to God, if you gave me a Glutenberg next to something like that, I don't even know if you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You know, like they're really, really good beers.
Yeah, we BrewHeads, so pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
All right, try to take a bit of a break. You know what I'm saying? For refill. You got the bottle.
I got the bottle. Yeah.
How do you feel about the bottle versus the keg? Yeah, the keg. Right?
Not so many differences between the keg and the bottle to me.
Not so much.
The classification is pretty much like the same. Like to me, like the cask and the keg were like really, really different because they added the Simcoe. It was a bit too much on the upside, like they lost a bit of the aromatic.
I feel like this is way less carbonated because I'm finishing off the bottle. I'm going into the keg.
Yeah.
Way less carbonated, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like there's almost more bitter because of that. I don't know.
On the cask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the cask. This is the keg.
Oh, maybe I should try again.
Yeah. You got the cask, right? How did you find the cask?
And the cask is it's really sweet.
Sweet?
On the cask, the bottle is
Residual sugars. The bottle I like the best. Do you know what? The more I fuck with this, the more I'm gonna
it's
like.
like hot blasting.
Yeah, it is. The other ones are way more subtle, eh? Yeah. Lots of hops on that one. But alright, so we're talking about Glutenberg.
Yep.
So we were sort of touching on this before when we were chilling, but so Glutenberg has a distribution network and they've allowed other breweries.
It's not Glutenberg itself, it's like a sister company of Glutenberg called Transbrew.
Oh.
So Transbrew,
They own the warehouse.
yeah.
And they rent
It's
spaces.
in the same warehouse, but like
Where is it?
it's in Hochelaga.
Hochelaga.
It's in Hochelaga, Assumption. It's in Montreal.
Okay.
So BAOS are pretty much like a very tiny space, like a local, inside the warehouse,
But it's a Quebec business address that allows
because
them to be
they
in a
have
province.
this
This rule, right?
small room in Quebec, which allows them to distribute their beers in Quebec.
Right.
Just because of that. And it's really because Transbrew we deliver beer all around Quebec for La Voie Maltais, Farm Table Microbrasserie du Lac Saint-Jean. So a shitload of breweries in Quebec are going through Transbrew to dispatch the beers and BAOS.
Right.
But BAOS is like the biggest. When we get a load from BAOS, it's like okay, like the truck from BAOS is coming. Like
All right, guys,
stop
get
everything.
everybody. So they bring a lot of stuff in. Because I was saying to the boy, like to Matt and Stu, that every debonair I go to, there's that little wooden hut thing.
Yeah.
Every fucking bar we go to, or restaurant. We went to I don't know if you know Dinette Triple Crown. It's like a soul food chicken restaurant.
I've stuffed my face so bad.
It's the shit, right?
Yeah.
That place.
Vegan
I'd love to-
place on Saint-Denis, they have like some BAOS, like La Panthère Verte. Like I went there, like that beer, like oh we have some BAOS. I was like what? So yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And honestly, man, like as just a craft beer fan, like I'm already BAOS is like literally like probably top 3 breweries of all time. But just to know that they're in Quebec everywhere, because I used to only be able to get it when I went to Ontario, so I get the mixer packs or I grab whatever the fuck came out that I can't get here. But now I don't have to worry because they're all here. And not only are they all here, like we went to that restaurant, we saw they had fucking they had Farnham as well, like Triple Crown. They had a bunch of other Quebec beers, but before you got Lunchred, give me that shit. Just because I know it's a easy drinking, refreshing beer, but it's just I'm just so impressed. Okay, so Glutenberg is a great beer in itself, but they're sort of everyone said to me from Beau's when I asked them how they got in Quebec, through Glutenberg. So does Glutenberg are you guys the predominant brewery at that warehouse, or is it still owned by another company?
It's the same guys. So we have gluten, like they opened Glutenberg first in the optic of like one of the owner, like it's two founders. So one of them is celiac, so he can't eat or drink gluten. So they wanted to make this company, so Glutenberg.
And that's where
after that, so we're like, let's make a bit more money. There's like a gap. There's like something missing in Quebec for like microbreweries. Let's open like a big we have the space, we have the money, so let's bring some other breweries to dispatch them, and and now they have like actually like a third company out of that, out of Gutenberg. So Gutenberg, Transbrew, and now we have Oschlag, and it's going to be the first microbrewery and distillery
Just in
Quebec,
in one country, in one company.
Yeah, so they're gonna make vodka, gin, and
Damn.
So it's called Oschlag, and it's gonna be out next 2-3 months.
Have you had their spirits?
I tried the spirits. I'm not a big spirit fan, but I tried. They're making some hops. Like I tried some hot vodka.
Nice, good.
And they made it from the mash, from the mou, from the blonde beer we make at Gutenberg. So it's actually gluten-free vodka, which doesn't really. But it's actually really good. And Oschlag is pretty much going to brew their own product, and they're going to brew products from Jukebox.
Oh, Jukebox is sick.
So Jukebox is going to brew at Oschlag.
Wow.
Vox Populi. It's a new. They made their name like a home brewers competition in Quebec. Like Vox Populi is one guy, and like he's really big, and his opening is like he's going to start brewing professionally and distribute through Oschlag.
Amazing.
So it's
there's a lot of stuff coming out through
the brewing world in Quebec is always moving and growing. So
I'm really glad we connected, because this is like something I feel disconnected from in general. And like every time I speak to Dan, we'll just talk about Dan from BrewHeads. Like he always like says all this stuff like, fuck, there's so much going on. So it's good to hear it from someone else. It's like it's so much shit. Like we're also talking like Chambly Beers et Saveur festival. It's just such a fantastic thing, and that's my own real small taste of the Quebec brewery. So I need to be more in the scene. So we're going to keep in contact. I definitely want to come to Gutenberg and do
I'm going to be very happy to help. So
I'm glad, man. We'll get as much as possible. I'm fucking excited. And you're doing home brewing soon too, eh?
Yeah. So we're gonna keep in touch for the home brewing. You're gonna try some of my friends' beer.
Yes, I am.
So we're gonna have fun.
I'm excited for that shit. Where can people find you on social media? Where can they find you and Glutenberg? Where's the best place?
Glutenberg is like go on Facebook. You're gonna find Glutenberg. You're gonna find Oschlag. You're gonna find Transbrew.
Is it Oschlaga, like AOC?
It's like Oschlag. It's like OSHLAG.
Oh, so it's actually spelled
Oschlag.
different. Oschlag, not H.
Because Oschlag HO is like the name of the area, but like Oschlag OSHLAG is like the name of the tribe.
Right. Okay.
The actual tribe of like a native.
No shit,
like
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where they got the name from in the first place. They Frenchified the name.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oschlag is the distillery / brewery. Glutenberg, so it's probably at Glutenberg everywhere.
100%.
Huge fan. So looking forward to definitely do a podcast at the brewery. And for yourself, where can they find you? On Untapped, on Instagram?
You can find me on if you speak French, it's gonna be easier, but you Criquefou.
Yep.
So
CRIQUETFOU.
Oh, you know me so well.
Yo, I remember that shit, and that means
I'm
crazy.
I'm gonna keep you as my agent.
Yes, I'm your agent. So if I don't need you, you talk to me. All right? You tell them, talk to this cunt.
You can find me on Untapped, Facebook, and
everything like that.
Like I love beer. Like I'm always happy to talk about beer. And, I can drink, and sometimes I can't swallow well, but
it's okay. That's what the beer does. It's a beautiful thing. Well, Pierre, pleasure to meet you finally, bro. Thank you for coming through. Cheers.
Thank you.
Catch you, cunts.